Where can it lead? But respectfully, it has to be on, it's not fair to just subject an employer when you come in, Alex, that I'm going to say the national anthem, we're going to work out in the training camp, we're going to play X amount of games, we're going to do this. So you're like, okay, I'll sign up. But for God's sake, if you don't want to do that, then start your own business, your own league. And that's just being fair, Alex, respectfully.
Now, Bruce, when pretty much everyone that the president has targeted here is African American, can you really argue that there is not a racial component to this spat?
No, ma'am, because it doesn't matter if you are purple, green, or blue. The president of the United States is so passionate, and me as a son of a retired sergeant major who fought 2 tours in Vietnam, my wife's dad 2 tours in Vietnam, all my uncles, we fought for this flag so we could have all types of religions and all types of people under this flag, so the flag protects all of us. So yes, it's emotional for President Trump and many Americans which support the majority that disagree with people protesting the national anthem, because that is one thing that we can say, okay, look, we may not agree with a lot of things, but this is one thing that waves that we can fall up under, Jew, Christian, Muslim, whoever you are.
But Bruce, those
that's the emotion behind this,
Bruce,
is what I'm trying to say.
Those that are kneeling would argue to you that they are doing so in protest of things and unfair practices under this flag here in the United States.
But I'm sorry, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but for God's sake, if you're going to do that, don't subject, and Alex, I said it earlier, it wouldn't be fair to your CEO of MSNBC if you went outside your contract and you said, knowing you agreed to the terms and conditions. It's kind of like, it's respectfully not fair, but I totally get it. I really get the First Amendment and the right to the peaceful. I get it. But, do it on your dime. Don't subject the majority of the people who disagree with you under that employer-employee agreement. And that's just been my take on this. It's just not.
Look, Bruce, I want you to stay because I'm going to bring in a couple more voices here to join us in this conversation. Chris Kluwe, former NFL player, also an advocate on issues including same-sex marriage and LGBT rights, and William Roden, writer-at-large for ESPN's The Undefeated. Chris, as a former NFL player, you're listening to my conversation with Bruce, and it's talking about the contract between employee and employer. What do you think about that, about trying to have a peaceful expression, peaceful demonstration that many of these NFL players are doing today, but doing it on their own time or their own dime?
Well, I think I just listened to the most disgusting piece of fascist propaganda that I've heard since 1930s era Germany. And the idea that people can only be valued for the amount of money they can provide for a corporation is antithetical to the entirety of what America stands for. Let's not forget that at one time slavery was legal. That was a contract that you could follow. So to say that because someone has a job that they must not protest against inequality within their society, frankly, that is unbelievable. I don't see how you can consider yourself an American and say that kind of stuff. Like that, I don't get it. How do you sleep at night by saying that?
Is that a question for me, Alex?
I believe so.
That is a question for you.
I'm sorry, I can't see you. I can't see you. There's no monitor here. But can I ask you a question, sir? Since we're having it real on TV, where do you work at?
But I used to work in the NFL, and then I protested for people's rights on my own dime, on my own time, and I was kicked out of the league. So your argument holds no merit, sir.
Where do you work now, sir?
I am a stay-at-home dad because I can no longer play in the NFL because I protested on my own time and I was kicked out of the league.
Okay, so my whole deal here is what I've been saying all along. You can't, it's totally unfair to anyone when you go into any agreement, and I'll say it again and again, to take your platform and push it on someone when you know that's what you agreed going into it, sir. So that's all of my argument. I'm totally for it. I'm not trying to push back on the First Amendment. What I'm trying to say
is that you're talking in circles. You're trying to have your cake and eat it too.
I think I'm
trying
very crystal clear.
The contract allows people to reinforce the idea that inequality is okay. That is exactly what you're saying.
Hey, Bruce, first of all, your premise is wrong, man. First of all, yes, in the NBA, there is a contract that says, you've got to stand for the national anthem. That's not the contract in the National Football League. When you sign a contract, the contract does not say, I've got to stand for the national anthem. So your premise is flawed. There is